The fluorescent lights of the call center hummed overhead, a constant, monotonous drone that mirrored the monotony of my life. Thank you for calling Stellar Support. My name is Liam. How may I assist you today? I recited for the 100th time that day, my voice flat, my enthusiasm non-existent. Another disgruntled customer, another technical issue I barely understood, another hour closer to the end of my shift. This was my life. Liam, the customer service representative, the master of troubleshooting printer malfunctions and calming down irate grandmothers who couldn't find the any key. Liam, honey, are you still stuck at that call center? Vanessa's voice, sharp and impatient, cut through my post-work haze as I trudged through the apartment door. It's not stuck, babe, I corrected, collapsing onto the couch, my tie already loosened, my brain already fried. It's gainfully employed, providing a valuable service to the community. Gainfully employed? She scoffed, her perfectly manicured nails tapping impatiently on her phone. Liam, you're practically a glorified phone operator. When are you going to get a real job? This is a real job, I mumbled, burying my face in a cushion. It pays the rent, doesn't it? Barely, she retorted. Liam, I need more than barely. I need security, stability, a future. We have a future, I protested, though the words lacked conviction even to my own ears. What kind of future? She challenged, her voice rising in frustration. A future where we live in this cramped apartment, eating ramen noodles and watching reruns on your tiny TV? A future where I have to take the bus while my friends are getting chauffeured around in their boyfriends' sports cars? I'm working on it, babe, I sighed, the familiar weight of my perceived inadequacy settling on my shoulders. I'm looking for opportunities, networking, trying to climb the corporate ladder. Climbing the corporate ladder? She scoffed. Liam, you're practically glued to the bottom rung. You need to be more ambitious, driven, successful. I am ambitious, I protested, though the words sounded hollow even to my own ears. Ambitious? She echoed, her voice laced with a condescending pity that was worse than her anger. Liam, you're a dreamer, a nice guy, but you're stuck. Stuck in this dead-end job, stuck in this mediocre life. Her words stung, a cruel assessment of my perceived failures. Vanessa, with her relentless pursuit of wealth and status. Her impatience with my lack of, well, everything she deemed important. She was right. In her world, I was a failure, a nobody, a man with no future. And as I lay there, the weight of her words crushing my already fragile ego, the fluorescent hum of the call center echoing in my mind, I couldn't help but feel a growing sense of despair. Like I was trapped in a time loop, destined to repeat the same monotonous day, the same unfulfilling routine, forever. But even as the darkness threatened to consume me, a spark of something else flickered within me, a spark of defiance, of determination, of hope. I wouldn't let her be right. I wouldn't let this be my story. I would find a way to break free, to achieve my dreams, to become the man she always wanted me to be, even if it killed me. The buzzing of my phone ripped me from a dream where I was swimming in a pool of money, Scrooge McDuck style. It was Vanessa. At 3 a.m., my stomach did a nervous flip-flop. This couldn't be good. Vanessa, what's wrong? I mumbled, my voice thick with sleep. Liam, she sobbed, her voice a mixture of panic and, was that hiccuping? I messed up, big time. My heart sank. What happened? Are you okay? No, I'm not okay, she wailed. I did something stupid. Something terrible. The blood drained from my face. What did you do? A long, agonizing silence stretched between us, punctuated only by her sniffles. Then, in a small, choked voice, she confessed. I cheated on you, Liam. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. Cheated? Vanessa? With who? With who? I croaked, my voice barely a whisper. It It doesn't matter, she sobbed. It was a mistake, a stupid, drunken mistake. It matters, I insisted, my voice rising in anger. Who was it? Another agonizing silence. Then, in a voice barely audible, she whispered a name. Mark. Mark Sterling. Mark Sterling, the tech entrepreneur, the guy with the penthouse apartment, the sports car, and the everything Vanessa seemed to value. Mark Sterling? I echoed, my voice laced with disbelief and a growing sense of humiliation. The guy from the charity gala? Yes, she sobbed. I'm so sorry, Liam. It just happened. He was so charming, successful, and I felt so inadequate. Inadequate. The word echoed in my mind, a cruel reminder of my perceived failures. Vanessa had cheated on me with a man who embodied everything she thought I wasn't. A man with money, power, and, a sports car. So that's it then? I asked, my voice hollow. We're over? I don't know, Liam, she sobbed. I'm so confused. I made a mistake, but I still care about you. Care about me? I scoffed, the bitterness rising in my throat. You care about me enough to cheat on me with the first guy who flashes a platinum credit card and a smug grin? No, it wasn't like that, she protested. It just happened. I wasn't thinking. You weren't thinking, I interrupted, my voice rising in anger. You weren't thinking when you decided to... I couldn't even finish the sentence. The pain, the humiliation, the sheer betrayal. It was too much. I have to go, Vanessa, I said, my voice trembling. I can't talk right now. And with that, I hung up, the phone clattering to the floor, my world shattering around me. Vanessa, the woman I loved, the woman I thought I had a future with. She had betrayed me, humiliated me, shattered my already fragile self-esteem. I stumbled out of bed, my head spinning, my heart aching. I needed to get out, to escape the suffocating confines of my apartment, I didn't even know what I needed to do. I grabbed my jacket and stumbled out into the night, the city lights blurring into a kaleidoscope of pain and confusion. I wandered aimlessly, my mind reeling, my heart shattered. And as I walked, the weight of my failures, my inadequacies, my mediocrity, crushed me. Vanessa was right. I was a loser, a nobody, a man with no future. And as the despair threatened to consume me, a truck roared around the corner, its headlights blinding me, its horn blaring a final, desperate warning. And then, darkness. The first thing I noticed was the smell. Not the sterile scent of a hospital room, but the familiar, slightly musty aroma of my own apartment. I blinked, my eyes adjusting to the dim light filtering through the blinds. Had it all been a dream? The truck, the blinding headlights, the oblivion? I sat up, tentatively testing my limbs. No pain, no broken bones, no anything. I swung my legs over the side of the bed, expecting a wave of dizziness, a throbbing headache, something. But there was nothing. Just a strange, tingling sensation, a faint buzzing in the back of my mind. What the... I mumbled, my voice raspy, my throat dry. I stumbled towards the bathroom, catching a glimpse of myself in the mirror. No bruises, no cuts, no evidence of the accident. It was as if it had never happened, but something was different. As I splashed water on my face, I noticed a flicker in the reflection, a momentary distortion, like a glitch in the matrix. I blinked, and it was gone. Must be the concussion, I muttered, though I knew, deep down, that it was something more. I wandered back into the living room, my mind reeling, my senses heightened. The TV was on, tuned to some financial news channel, the talking heads droning on about market trends and economic forecasts. As I watched, I noticed another flicker, a momentary glimpse of something else. A graph, a stock ticker, a future headline? I shook my head, trying to clear the cobwebs, but the images persisted, flashing before my eyes like a series of cryptic messages. A winning lottery number, a politician's scandalous affair, a football game? I focused on the football game, the images becoming clearer, the details sharper. I saw the teams, the players, the final score. I blinked and the vision faded, leaving behind a strange certainty, a deep-seated knowledge of what was to come. "This is impossible," I whispered, my voice trembling with a mixture of fear and excitement. I had to test it. I had to know if this was real, if I was seeing the future. I grabbed my phone, my fingers fumbling as I navigated to the sports betting app. I found the game, the one I had just seen, the one I knew the outcome of. With trembling hands, I placed a bet, a small bet, just to be sure. And then I waited. The hours crawled by, each minute an eternity. I paced the apartment, my mind racing, my heart pounding. Was I going crazy? Was this some elaborate hallucination, a side effect of the accident? Or was I gifted? The final whistle blew, the game ended, the score exactly as I had seen it. My phone buzzed, a notification announcing my win. A small win, but a win nonetheless. I stared at the screen, my mind reeling, my heart pounding. It was real. I could see the future. Not everything, not all the time, but enough. Enough to change everything. And as the first rays of dawn filtered through the blinds, casting a golden light on my transformed apartment, I knew that my life had taken a very unexpected and possibly very extraordinary turn. The accident, the betrayal, the despair. It had all led to this gift. This was my chance to break free, to achieve my dreams, to become the man Vanessa always wanted me to be. And as I looked out at the city waking up below, the world stretching before me, filled with possibilities, I knew that this was just the beginning. The story of Liam, the customer service representative, the master of troubleshooting printer malfunctions. That story was over. The story of Liam, the man who could see the future. That story was just beginning. Okay, so seeing the future wasn't exactly like in the movies. It wasn't some crystal clear HD vision of the next day's lottery numbers, or a detailed play-by-play of the upcoming presidential election. It was more like glimpses, flashes, intuitions. And it was weird. Really weird. Like the time I was walking down the street and suddenly knew the old lady in front of me was about to trip over that uneven paving stone. Sure enough, a split second later, down she went. Luckily, I was there to catch her and score some serious good citizen points. Or the time I was arguing with my landlord about the leaky faucet and I just knew. He was going to say, "That's not my problem," before the words even left his mouth. Spoiler alert, he did. It was freaky, fascinating, and more than a little frustrating. Like having a superpower that only worked intermittently. Like a dodgy Wi-Fi connection in the world of precognition. But the more I experimented, the more I realized that my gift wasn't random. It seemed to be strongest when it came to people and money. Conversations became a whole new game. I could practically see the words forming in people's mouths before they even spoke. Predict their arguments, their reactions, their intentions. It was like having a cheat sheet for life, a secret decoder ring for human interaction. And yeah, it made those calls at the call center a whole lot more bearable. "Sir, I understand you're frustrated with your internet speed, but yelling at me isn't going to magically make it faster. Also, you're going to threaten to cancel your subscription in approximately 3, 2, 1. Wait. But the real kicker was the stock market. Numbers, trends, graphs. They flickered before my eyes, revealing hidden patterns, future fluctuations, and, well, let's just say I suddenly understood why people got addicted to day trading. It was like having a window into the financial matrix, a cheat code for the world of investments. I started small, cautiously testing the waters. A few low-risk stocks, a couple of well-placed bets on sporting events, and the wins started rolling in. Not massive wins at first, but enough to fuel my curiosity, to confirm my suspicions, to, Well, to make me realize that this was more than just a weird side effect of getting hit by a truck. This was a gift, a superpower, a golden ticket to a whole new life. And as I watched my bank account grow, the numbers steadily climbing, the possibilities expanding before my eyes, I knew that this was just the beginning. The accident, the betrayal, the despair. Oh, it had all led to this opportunity. This was my chance to break free from the monotony, to achieve the success I'd always dreamed of, well, to prove Vanessa wrong, to show her and the world that Liam, the customer service representative, the master of troubleshooting printer malfunctions, he was capable of so much more. And as I sat there, my laptop glowing in the darkness, the stock ticker reflecting in my eyes, I couldn't help but grin. This was going to be fun. Okay, so maybe cautiously testing the waters wasn't exactly my style. Turns out, when you can literally see the future of the stock market, caution goes out the window faster than a drunken gambler's paycheck in Vegas. Spoiler alert, that's where I was headed. But first, I needed to diversify. Stocks were great, but they were slow. I needed something with a quicker turnaround, something with a bit more excitement. Enter sports betting. Now, I'd never been a gambling man. The idea of risking my hard-earned cash on the unpredictable whims of fate, or, athletic ability, seemed like a recipe for disaster. But when you can literally see the outcome of a game before it even starts, well, it's not really gambling anymore, is it? It started with small bets, local games, obscure leagues, anything to avoid raising suspicion. I wasn't exactly keen on explaining my sudden streak of good fortune to the guys down at the pub. But as my winnings grew, so did my confidence. I moved on to bigger games, higher stakes, and, well, let's just say my bank account started looking a lot less customer service representative and a lot more hedge fund manager. But it wasn't just about the money. There was a thrill to it, a sense of power, the power to predict the unpredictable, to control the uncontrollable, to stick it to fate, and maybe to Vanessa just a little bit. And then it hit me. Vegas, the city of sin, the land of opportunity, the perfect place to test my newfound abilities and maybe, just maybe, have a little fun in the process. Liam, my man, are you sure about this? Ben, my ever-reliable and slightly terrified best friend, asked as we stepped off the plane, the neon lights of the strip assaulting our senses. Relax, Ben, I grinned, slinging my surprisingly expensive duffel bag over my shoulder. It's just a research trip, a chance to expand my investment portfolio. By gambling? He squeaked, his eyes wide with apprehension. Not gambling, Ben, I corrected, patting him on the shoulder. Investing, with a slightly higher probability of success. And invest I did. Blackjack tables, roulette wheels, sports books. They all became my playground, my personal ATM, you get the idea. The visions came easily here, the energy of the city, the desperation of the gamblers, the sheer volume of money. It all amplified my abilities, making the future clearer, the outcomes more certain. I won. A lot. Enough to make the pit bosses sweat, the cocktail waitresses swoon, and the high rollers? Well, they just looked confused. Apparently, a guy in a slightly too tight suit and a surprisingly accurate prediction of the next roll of the dice wasn't exactly a common sight in these parts. But it wasn't just about the money. Vegas, with its endless distractions, its liberal atmosphere, and its abundance of attractive and surprisingly approachable people. It was the perfect antidote to the Vanessa-induced heartbreak. Another round for the gentleman who can't lose. A bubbly blonde bartender, who would later entertain me further in my bed, announced, sliding a martini, shaken, not stirred naturally, across the bar. Make it two, I grinned, raising my glass in a silent toast to my newfound fortune, my enhanced perception, and my surprisingly active social life. The days blurred into a whirlwind of winning streaks, lavish dinners, and, let's just say I was making up for lost time. Sorry, Ben, but what happens in Vegas? But even as I reveled in the excess, the thrill of the win, the attention, a part of me knew that this was just a stepping stone, a means to an end. The seed money, the foundation for something bigger, something more meaningful. And as I stood on the balcony of my penthouse suite, yes, I upgraded, and the hot bartender sleeping soundly in my bed, overlooking the glittering cityscape, the neon lights reflecting in my eyes, I knew that it was time to move on. Vegas had served its purpose. It had healed my wounds, boosted my confidence, and, significantly increased my net worth. But the real game, the game I was destined to play, the game that would rewrite my story and redefine my future, that game was waiting for me back in the real world. And as I boarded the private jet, yes, I rented one, a smug grin spreading across my face, I couldn't help but think of Vanessa. She wanted a man with money, power, and, a private jet. Well, here I was. Too bad she'd already lost her chance. Back in the real world, armed with a suitcase full of Vegas winnings and a newfound confidence that bordered on arrogance. Okay, maybe it was arrogance. I set about building my empire. Forget climbing the corporate ladder. I was building my own damn ladder with platinum rungs and a penthouse view. First things first, ditch the call center. I walked into my manager's office, a smirk playing on my lips, and handed him my resignation. "Liam, what's this?" he sputtered, his face a mixture of confusion and indigestion, probably from those questionable cafeteria sandwiches. "It's my 2 weeks' notice," I said, barely able to contain my amusement. "I've decided to pursue other opportunities." "Other opportunities?" he echoed, his eyes widening. "Like, what? Another call center?" "Something like that," I said with a wink, "but with better benefits." And with that, I walked out, leaving him staring at my resignation letter like it was a winning lottery ticket. Which, in a way, it kind of was. Next up, investments. Armed with my precognitive abilities and a healthy dose of, screw it, let's see what happens, I dove headfirst into the world of finance. The stock market became my playground, the financial news my personal crystal ball. I saw trends before they emerged, predicted crashes before they happened, and identified opportunities that others missed. I invested in tech startups that were about to explode, bought shares in companies on the verge of breakthrough discoveries, and even dabbled in a few unconventional ventures. Let's just say that knowing which cryptocurrency was about to skyrocket was a definite advantage. The money flowed in, faster than I could count it, faster than I could spend it, faster than... Well, you get the idea. My bank account ballooned, my portfolio diversified, and my lifestyle upgraded. The cramped apartment was replaced by a sleek penthouse overlooking the city. The ramen noodles were replaced by Michelin star dinners, with actual tablecloths and everything. And the bus? Well, let's just say I developed a sudden appreciation for chauffeured limousines and private jets. But it wasn't just about the material things. With wealth came influence, access, and, a whole new level of respect. Suddenly, I was the guy people wanted to talk to. The guy with the golden touch. The guy who, the guy who knew what was going to happen before it happened. "Mr. O'Connell," a slick investment banker said to me, his voice dripping with the newfound admiration. "Your insights are remarkable. Uncanny. How do you do it?" "It's a gift," I'd say with a shrug, enjoying the mystified looks and whispered rumors of my financial genius. But it wasn't just about the money and the influence. There was a satisfaction, a sense of control that came with shaping my own destiny, with proving everyone wrong, with being the master of my own fate. And as I sat in my penthouse office, overlooking the bustling cityscape, the stock ticker reflecting in my eyes, I couldn't help but grin. This was the life I'd always dreamed of, the life Vanessa had denied me, the life I had earned. And as the phone rang, the caller ID flashing the name of a particularly influential and notoriously difficult investor, I knew that this was just the beginning. The story of Liam, the customer service representative, the master of troubleshooting printer malfunctions. That story was fading into a distant memory. The story of Liam, the financial titan, the man who could see the future. That story was just getting started. The penthouse wasn't just a place to live. It was a statement, a declaration, a middle finger to everyone who had ever doubted me, starting with a certain someone named Vanessa. But it wasn't enough to just have the penthouse. I needed to be the penthouse. If that makes any sense. My transformation wasn't just about the stuff. Sure, the designer suits, the ridiculously expensive watches, the everything was nice, really nice. But it was more than just the external trappings of wealth. It was an internal shift, a metamorphosis from Liam, the slightly awkward, perpetually stressed customer service representative, to, Liam, the effortlessly confident, impossibly successful Titan. Yeah, let's go with Titan. First things first, the image overhaul. Out went the ill-fitting suits and the generic haircuts. In came the bespoke tailoring, the power ties, and a stylist who actually understood the concept of manscaping. I hired a personal trainer who looked like he could bench press a small car to sculpt my physique into something resembling, something other than average guy who spends too much time sitting at a desk. And I even invested in a few enhancements. Let's just say that knowing which skincare products were about to become the next big thing had its perks. But it wasn't just about the physical transformation. The real change was internal. The years of being overlooked, underestimated, and, dismissed, had left their mark. A lingering sense of inadequacy, a quiet voice of self-doubt that whispered in the back of my mind. I needed to silence that voice. I needed to own my power, to embrace my newfound confidence, to become unbreakable. I devoured books on business, leadership, and, everything. I hired a team of advisors, not just for their expertise, but for their ability to challenge me, to push me, to make me better. I learned to negotiate, to strategize, to play the game at a level I never thought possible. And the more I learned, the more I realized that my gift wasn't just about predicting the future. It was about understanding people, understanding their motivations, their fears, their desires. It was about seeing the patterns, the connections, the human element that drove the world. The call center was a distant memory, a faded snapshot of a life I no longer recognized. The fluorescent lights, the droning headsets, the endless stream of disgruntled customers. It all felt like a dream, a bad dream, and Vanessa, she was a ghost from that past life, a reminder of the man I used to be. But that man was gone, replaced by someone different, stronger, smarter, more ruthless, maybe a little ruthless. But it was a necessary ruthlessness, a survival instinct that had been dormant for too long, finally unleashed. My apartment transformed too. The cramped space, filled with cheap furniture and half-empty takeout containers, was replaced by a sleek, minimalist penthouse. The walls were adorned with modern art that I mostly pretended to understand. The shelves filled with books I actually intended to read someday, and the view was breathtaking, a constant reminder of how far I had come, how much I had achieved, how much power I now wielded. And it wasn't just the penthouse, it was the private jet, the exclusive clubs, the connections, the access. I moved in circles I never thought possible, rubbing shoulders with CEOs, politicians, and, the kind of people Vanessa used to drool over. But it wasn't about impressing Vanessa. It wasn't about proving her wrong. It was about myself. It was about realizing my potential, embracing my destiny, and, finally becoming the man I was always meant to be. And as I stood on the balcony of my penthouse, overlooking the city lights twinkling below, a glass of ridiculously expensive champagne in my hand, I couldn't help but smile. The transformation was complete. Liam, the customer service representative, was gone. In his place stood Liam, the Titan, and he was just getting started. It started with a whisper, a notification on my phone, a link shared in a group chat, a name muttered with a mix of disbelief and envy. Liam O'Connell. Apparently, I was kind of a big deal now. I hadn't exactly been keeping a low profile. When you're stepping out of private jets, closing multi-million-dollar deals, and casually discussing the future of the global economy with people who actually know what they're talking about, it's kind of hard to stay under the radar. The whispers turned into murmurs, the murmurs into headlines. My face, now sculpted and tanned, thanks personal trainer and that ridiculously expensive dermatologist, started appearing in magazines, on websites, and, well, on Vanessa's social media feed. I knew the exact moment she saw it. The surge of something that rippled through my consciousness, a mix of satisfaction, amusement, and maybe a tiny bit of pettiness? Okay, maybe more than a tiny bit. It was a picture, a candid shot of me stepping off my jet, the one with the custom paint job and the surprisingly comfortable cashmere seats. My suit impeccably tailored, my sunglasses reflecting the California sun. My expression? Well, let's just say it screamed success. The caption read, "Liam O'Connell, the financial visionary who's disrupting the industry and redefining wealth." I might have paid someone to write that. Vanessa's reaction was predictable. A flurry of frantic texts to our mutual friends. Is that really Liam? What happened to him? Is he rich now? A deep dive into my online presence. Every article, every interview, every strategically curated social media post. And finally, the inevitable message. Liam, is that really you? I stared at the message, a smirk playing on my lips. Vanessa, long time no talk. How's Mark? Mark, in case you've forgotten, was the tech entrepreneur, the guy with the penthouse apartment, the sports car, and the everything Vanessa seemed to value, until now, apparently. Her response was immediate. Liam, I can't believe it's you. You look amazing, successful, powerful. Thanks, I replied, resisting the urge to add a told you so emoji. What have you been up to? How did you, become so successful? Oh, I typed, casually leaning back in my leather office chair, the one with the built-in massager and the panoramic city view. Just a few lucky breaks, some good investments, a bit of foresight. Foresight? Yeah, I said, enjoying the mystery, the intrigue, the power. I kind of see things before they happen. Okay, maybe I was laying it on a bit thick, but hey, a guy's gotta have some fun, right? Her response was a mix of awe and something else. Regret? Longing? Desperation? It was hard to tell. Liam, I need to see you. We need to talk. Talk? I chuckled. About what? The weather? The latest stock market trends? Or maybe about how you dumped me for a guy with a bigger bank account? The silence on the other end was deafening. I could practically hear the gears turning in her head, the calculations, the justifications, the desperation. Liam, I made a mistake, a huge mistake. I was foolish, shallow. I didn't see your potential. But now I see it, and I want to be a part of it. A part of it? I scoffed, the bitterness I thought I'd buried resurfacing with a vengeance. You want to be a part of my success? After you dismissed my dreams, belittled my ambitions, and, cheated on me with a guy who could buy and sell me 10 times over. Liam, please, she pleaded. I've changed. I've grown. I realize now that money isn't everything. It's about the person, about you. You realize that now, do you? I asked, my voice dripping with sarcasm. Well, congratulations, Vanessa. You've finally achieved self-awareness. Too bad it only took you. Oh, I don't know. My complete transformation into the kind of man you always wanted. The silence stretched on, punctuated only by the faint sound of her sniffles. I could practically picture her, her perfectly manicured nails digging into her phone, her carefully constructed facade crumbling, her regret, palpable. Liam, I'm begging you, give me another chance. I won't let you down this time. I leaned back in my chair, a slow smile spreading across my face. This was it. The moment I'd been waiting for, the moment of triumph. "You wanted a rich man, Vanessa?" I asked, my voice low, almost a whisper. "Well, here I am. Too bad you already lost your chance." And with that, I ended the call. The silence in my office a stark contrast to the buzzing of my phone, the notifications piling up, the world clamoring for a piece of me. Liam O'Connell, the man who could see the future, the man who had everything, the man who finally had the power. The sprawling mansion, perched atop a hill overlooking the glittering expanse of Los Angeles, was a temple of wealth and exclusivity. Tonight, it was mine. Well, technically, it was leased for the evening, but the effect was the same. Champagne flowed freely, canapés circulated on silver trays, and the air buzzed with the conversations of the elite. This was my party, my celebration, my coronation. I surveyed the scene. A glass of vintage champagne, the kind that costs more than my old apartment. In my hand, a self-satisfied smirk playing on my lips. The guests, a carefully curated collection of billionaires, celebrities, and, well, anyone who mattered in this world. Mingled effortlessly, their laughter echoing through the manicured gardens, their jewels sparkling under the California stars. This was it. The pinnacle of success, the culmination of my journey, the ultimate screw you to everyone who had ever doubted me. And Vanessa? She was out there, somewhere beyond the gates, beyond the carefully constructed barriers of wealth and exclusivity, a ghost from a past life I no longer recognized. I had caught a glimpse of her earlier, a flicker in the crowd of onlookers gathered beyond the wrought iron gates, her face a mask of longing and regret. She had tried, of course, to secure an invitation, to weasel her way into my world, to reclaim her lost opportunity, but I had made sure that was impossible. This was my night, my victory, my revenge. "Mr. O'Connell," a smooth voice interrupted my thoughts. "You've created something truly extraordinary." I turned to see a renowned tech mogul, his smile as polished as his designer shoes, his eyes gleaming with admiration, and maybe a hint of envy. "It's just a gathering," I said, with a casual shrug, though the pride in my voice was undeniable. "Just a gathering? Liam, this is legendary. The guest list alone is unprecedented. You've managed to unite the titans of industry, the giants of entertainment, the people who shape the world. It's all about connections," I said, raising my glass in a mock toast. "Knowing the right people, making the right moves, seeing the bigger picture, and..." He chuckled, his eyes twinkling with understanding. "You have a gift, Liam, a vision, and you've used it, masterfully. It's just good business," I said, though the satisfaction in my voice was undeniable. But it wasn't just about the business. It was about the statement, the message, the closure. This party, this gathering, this spectacle. It was the final chapter in my transformation, the ultimate proof that I had conquered my past, overcome my doubts, and achieved the impossible. And Vanessa? She was out there, watching, witnessing, understanding. This was the life she had craved, the world she had desired, the man she had rejected. And now it was all beyond her reach. I caught another glimpse of her face pressed against the iron bars, her eyes filled with a mixture of longing, regret, and despair. This was her punishment, her penance, her reality check. The world she had chosen, the world of fleeting pleasures and superficial connections, had crumbled around her. The financial crash I had predicted, the one that had wiped out her investments, her lifestyle, her security, it had brought her back down to earth, back to the reality she had tried so hard to escape. And now, she was on the outside looking in, a spectator at my triumph, a witness to my transformation. The man she had dismissed, the man she had deemed unworthy, the man she had left behind. He was now the man she could never have. I raised my glass, a silent toast to my victory, my redemption, my freedom. The past was gone, the future was mine, and the present, well, the present was this party, this celebration, this moment of ultimate triumph. And as the music swelled, the laughter echoed, and the champagne flowed, I knew that this was more than just a party. It was a symbol, a statement, a testament to the power of transformation, the resilience of the human spirit, and the sheer satisfaction of proving everyone wrong. This was my finale, my encore, my masterpiece. And as I surveyed the scene, the world at my feet, the future stretching before me, filled with endless possibilities, I couldn't help but grin. Liam O'Connell, the customer service representative, was dead. Long live Liam O'Connell, the emperor of his own destiny.